to part 2. This information is contained in the email I'll be sending you from the Sherman and Dinkmeyer book. The first is from Chapter 1, Understanding Human Behavior. I know that you've had this in much of your Adlerian theory already, but I like to review pieces of it as we start applying it to family therapy. The difference between Adler and Freud, as we know, was that Adler was more interested in the fact that we were social beings. Freud was more interested in us being biological beings. Adler said we are motivated to find a place to belong and to complete oneself, where Freud said we are motivated by instincts and drives, particularly the sexual drive. Adler said there was an invisible total personality which he described as holism, where Freud said personality divided into polar forces of id, superego, and ego. Now, psychological principles for application of family therapy have to do with all behavior has social meaning. When we think about the family, there's something about it, whether it's being by herself, whether it's being the comedian in the family, whatever it might be, all behavior has social beings because we're all parts of social beings. Goals are created by the individual, and this has to do with many of the Adlerian philosophies or functions of birth order, of early recollections, and so on within the family relationship. It also is determined by how the parents treat each child and what their role in the family might be. Adlerians believe that the goal itself, because it gives direction and meaning to any striving, can be regarded as the final cause. Now, Adler viewed people as holistic. He believed that the conscious and unconscious, the physical, mental, and emotional were all part of a unified system moving toward the same psychological goal. Each person is a unified organism whose experiences move in meaningful patterns toward a goal. A second premise was the striving for significance, where all behavior is designed to overcome feelings of inferiority and attain feelings of superiority. These are often a part of our obvious dependence on adults for survival when we're children. And this brings us about our continuous striving to overcome the challenges of life that we face. We believe that the striving to meet the very challenges of life, work, social, sexual, self, and spiritual, is the basis for our motivation. We are motivated by our continuous desire to overcome our feeling of inferiority to compensate through striving to achieve. The inferiority feelings are based on our faulty subjective self-evaluations. They come out as such things as competitiveness, as being one up, and so on. We believe that the master motive is to be competent and to belong while creating a unique identity. The next factor is that behavior is a result of our subjective perceptions. It is essential that the therapists understand the perception of the family members. Each person develops and is responsible for his or her own subjective view of life. So Adlerian psychology is a psychology of use, not of possession. The focus is on motivation, not just possibilities. Adlerian family therapists are most interested in how each person chooses to use whatever abilities and potential he or she has. The next aspect is family atmosphere. Adlerian theory places great importance on family processes. Things around which values tend to exist include education, athletics, religion, money, achievement, caring relations, and compliance or obedience. And these often reflect the family values and individuals within the therapy. The next one is the family constellation, which you're very familiar with as an Adlerian. The birth order process of each child and how they fit in a family. Adlerians think that the meaning a person gives to his position and that of each other in the family is of greater importance than the ordinal or chronological age of the person. So it's very important to look at this as a part of the overall. The third is the lifestyle, which refers to the person's basic orientation to life, the set of patterns or themes which run through the person's existence. And lifestyle is influenced first by family constellation and family atmosphere. The central goal of the lifestyle is often termed the fictional goal. This goal this goal influences and organizes our experiences and behaviors. Lifestyle is self-consistent, coherent, and unified. The next particularly important part of understanding human behavior is social interest. Adlerians put a great deal of value on the social context of all behavior. Behavior is always understood as a function of the person's perception and social interest. Many of our problems stem from our failure to achieve belonging. Another factor which is important in understanding Adlerian behavior is understanding behavior by following the line of movement. Since behavior is goal-directed, these transactions between family members are always purposeful. Behavior never lies, though talk and verbalization may often be misleading. In cause and effect modalities, movement is from the past leading to a present consequence. In the circularity models common to general systems theory, self-reinforcing movement is a repetitive, self-regarding loop that acts to maintain the balance or status quo. For Adlerians, the movement is a proactive continuum toward accomplishing the goal. It is not caused by the past, it is decided upon in the present in anticipation of the future. This is a movement from a minus to a plus basis. Positive power is experienced when the direction of power is outward from the individual toward others and toward the environment. This is termed social interest or social feelings. And one way of looking toward this is to look at the balance of power within the family members. A last section that I wanted to refer to is the first appendix on page 299 in Sherman and Dinkelmeyer. The principles it talks about, and I'm not going to go through all 20 principles, you can read them on your own and use them in your answers, are the development and self-determined behavior of individual members, the interactions and dynamics of the family system as a holistic unit, the social context of other institutions of which the family and its members are a functional part, and the goals that they all individually can collectively strive for. So with this information, again, I hope this will further your integration of some of the general systems theories and beginning family systems theories with Adlerian psychology and family systems.